So when it comes down to the most underrated players in football at the moment, I would argue that Bruno Fernandes may take the crown or at the very least be a contender. I honestly can't understand how some people would want Bruno Fernandes sold before Marcus Rashford. Fernandes is far more consistent, has a much better attitude, functions in an aggressive pressing system significantly more effectively than Rashford, and is a more versatile player. And as leads on to the sponsor of today's video, produces not just better output than Marcus Rashford, but better than some of the best creative midfielders in Europe's top 5 leagues. And to show you this, I'm going to be using a new feature on FBref, which is their Statshead model. You can go over to their team finder via the matches or seasons, or as I'm going to do for Fernandes, their player finder. And what I really like about using this tool is that you can get stats not just from one season, but for a combination of seasons. I could use stats from the last 3 or 4 seasons combined, but I think using this season and last season, the last 18 months basically, we can get a clear idea of Fernandes' current output, specifically under Erik ten Hag. Now there are a lot of chance creation metrics we can look at, but I think XG assisted is probably the best, as not only does it give us an idea of how many chances the player created, but also the quality of those chances as well. And so as you can see, Bruno Fernandes ranks second behind Kevin De Bruyne, with both recording a XG assisted of around 0.5 per 90. That means that in the past season and a half, in the Premier League obviously because he's barely played in the Champions League for United, Fernandes creates a greater value of chances per 90 than Messi or Griezmann, but also his Premier League competitors James Maddison and Trent Alexander-Arnold. If you want to see where Bruno Fernandes ranks in other metrics in comparison to other players, or specifically attacking midfielders in Europe's top 5 leagues, along with whatever filters you want to add as well, then go over to FBref, a link will be left in the description, and try their new Statshead tool as well. In regards to his FBref reports, we can see that when compared against all other attacking midfielders in the Premier League this season, Bruno Fernandes is completing a high volume of short, medium and long passes, ranking towards the top 90th percentiles for all of those metrics. And this may surprise a lot of people who associate Bruno Fernandes, in my opinion wrongly, with being an inaccurate long passer. I actually think he's a very good long passer, but because Ten Hag's attack is so dependent on transitioning the attack quickly, as they did against Aston Villa, rather than the deep, compact defensive unit like they faced against West Ham, Fernandes is almost being encouraged to play these high risk long passes, because as we saw against Aston Villa, if the timing of the pass and the run of the forward are both in sync, it can pay off big time, particularly against an aggressive man-to-man pressing, offside baiting Villa back line. But Fernandes' creativity is what makes him so good, and you can see this from his progressive passing and chance creating metrics, being comfortably in the top 5 to 10 percentiles. And Fernandes' passing was certainly on display in this game. In the first half, United weren't quite in sync with their attacking patterns, but you could see they were developing the understanding, with Fernandes' flicked through ball for Garnacho being that such clue. In the first half, United's front line was starting far too high up the pitch, but in the second we saw both Højlund and Rashford take up these deeper positions on the left flank when United had the ball in the left back position. Dalot and Eriksen do fantastically to move the ball quickly in that congested area, and then find Bruno Fernandes, who is in the perfect position, goal side of the Villa midfield, who have been baited into pushing over to stop United having an overload with Højlund and Rashford. But in doing so, Villa concedes space, not just where Bruno Fernandes is, but also in behind and Diego Carlos, because they have pushed so high up the pitch. But United still do have to do a lot to take advantage of this, and it comes in 2 stages. And Garnacho's disallowed goal showed not only Bruno Fernandes at his best, but also some clever tactical acumen from Erik ten Hag. And these are the exact sort of tactical patterns that will transform United's attacks. In previous games, I felt like Højlund gets too involved in the physical battle with the opposition centre back, when really he just needs to quickly float off the defender and link the play efficiently, as he does here, as now rather than the ball being in a deeper position with Bruno Fernandes, where a killer through ball wasn't really on to be played, now Fernandes is able to release Marcus Rashford, and credit to Rashford as well, he has been criticised for at best being indecisive and at worst being outright greedy, but here the timing and the weight of the pass is ideal. But there's a 4th horse to this chase, and that's Garnacho on the other side. See, the thing is, if Garnacho is holding a position that is too wide outside the fullback on the far side, when the ball is in a deeper position on the left, then he isn't going to be able able to make up the ground as he does here, and so because either Ten Hag instructed him to, or Garnacho took it upon himself, his narrow positioning allows him to get up ahead of Digne, and just like against Arsenal, he goes a fraction too early, which really shouldn't take away from the quality and composure of the finish, as we also saw at the Emirates. Now I am going to be doing a video analysing the other goals that actually stood in this game and how they reminded me of Rooney and Ronaldo against Bolton Wanderers back in 2006-2007, but in this video I just wanted to break down why I thought that this disallowed goal in particular showcased Bruno Fernandes' positioning, link play and final ball to an incredibly effective level, which provides a visual to his hugely impressive statistical output, as we saw with the FBref stats tool, which you can check out by clicking the link in the description.